to my channel. If this is your first time checking me out, welcome. My name is Aysha and I'd love it if you subscribe down below and join the fam. Are you guys tired of hearing that spiel every single time I start a video? Let me know. But in today's video, I will be talking about my top 5 favorite or best bronzers for deep or dark skin. I never really got into bronzers up until maybe like a year to 2 years ago, only because I never thought that brown girls, black girls could actually wear bronzer and it could like do something. But ever since I discovered bronzer, I have not looked back, and it has honestly just changed my makeup game. I don't even contour anymore. I know that I'm totally not the only one who ever thought that, and I have tried a lot of bronzers since then, so I really just wanted to give you guys my recommendations on the best bronzers that I found for deep or dark skin. All of these bronzers I genuinely really love. I use interchangeably. I do have one kind of main favorite, and I'll talk about that first, but just in general, all these bronzers are really good, so it really just depends on your personal preference, what brands you prefer, your price point, obviously, and just what you want to try out. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. I did a top 5 highlighters for deep dark skin before, and you guys really seem to enjoy that. If you guys would like any other top 5 series for dark skin, then let me know. Anyways, let's jump into this video. I hope you guys enjoy it, and if you do, definitely give it a big thumbs up. I would very much appreciate that. So yeah, let's jump right in. So the first bronzer that I have to recommend has been overwhelming favorite, and I'm sure a lot of you guys, if you do watch my channel, maybe know what I'm about to show. The Bobbi Brown bronzer, guys. I am obsessed with this bronzer. This was probably one of the most recent introductions into my collection. I only started using it, I think, at the end of September, but it has quickly become my favorite, and I absolutely love it. I have 2 different shades over here, and these are the 2 specific shades I would recommend to deep or dark skin. The first one is dark number 3, and then I also have deep number 4. So I will show you guys these side by side. So this is what they look like. They look very similar. The only real difference is that dark number 3 has slightly more of a reddish undertone. So if you do prefer bronzers with that warm red undertone, then you would really enjoy this. I was using this pretty much since I got it, and then I just recently got this literally yesterday, and I used it today, and I absolutely love this one a little bit more than this, at least right now. I found in the summer months my skin does get more red. I get darker, but then it goes more on the red side. So dark number 3, which is the one with more of a red undertone, looks amazing in the summer. But since I am getting slightly lighter, which always happens in the winter time, I opted for deep number 4, which has more of a golden undertone, not so much red. Maybe able to see it on camera, I'm not really sure, but in person you can definitely see the difference. Both of these bronzers are really great. If there was one that I would recommend more than the other, it would definitely be deep number 4, and although I just started using this, I do prefer more of a golden undertone and less of a red undertone for bronzers, but honestly, I would still use both. These are amazing. These are definitely more of the higher end bronzer, especially, I think this is probably the most expensive bronzer that I'll be talking about today. This retails for about $54 Canadian. I would guess maybe around $45 US, I'm not really sure. But I will have, obviously, all of them linked down below, as I always do. So they're slightly more expensive, but I find for a bronzer, you really only need one. It's not like a blush or a highlight where, you know, you could buy multiple ones, so maybe you wouldn't, you know, invest in more really expensive highlighters or something. But I find for bronzers, it's okay to invest in more of an expensive one because it's pretty much, you can use it with any look, and they last a super long time as well, and I think they're just an essential part of a makeup routine. So the second bronzer is also one that has been well loved on my channel. This is the Too Faced Dark Chocolate Soleil bronzer, and as you can see, it has been well loved. This was the bronzer that I was mainly using before I got the Bobbi Brown one. Oh, every time I open this, it just smells so good. I feel like the reason why I love this so much is because it smells exactly like hot cocoa. Like, it's made with cocoa powder, so it smells like chocolate, and it's just so delicious. I love it. But this is really great. I think that if you have my skin tone or lighter, then this will work for you. If you're any deeper than me, I don't think this will work, only because it doesn't run super deep. Yeah, if you are any darker than me, I feel like this would just look like you know, a powder foundation or a setting powder on you. You may notice throughout this video, I do personally prefer matte bronzers. I do have some shimmery bronzers or bronzers with more of a sheen to it, but my personal preference is just a plain matte bronzer because I just want it to look like I have that natural sun-kissed glow to my skin. I don't want to have shimmer all over my face unless it's, you know, highlight. So this is also a matte bronzer. Yeah, I really, really love it. I don't really know what else to say about it. They do have 3 different shades. I think just like a chocolate soleil, a milk chocolate soleil, and then this is the dark chocolate soleil. So if you are lighter, you can find that as well. But of course, this is for, you know, top 5 for dark skin, but it's just an amazing range of bronzers in general. I do wish they had one shade darker because when I do get deeper in the summertime, I can't use this. It's a little too light on me. So this actually retails for $38 Canadian, so definitely more affordable than the Bobbi Brown. And I feel like in terms of formula, this is probably the closest that I found to the Bobbi Brown in terms of, you know, blendability and pigmentation and everything like that. But again, the Bobbi Brown just comes in more deeper shades. Moving on, I actually have a drugstore favorite to talk about. Now this is going to be kind of hard to open because this smashed a little bit, but this is the NYX No Filter finishing powder. Now this actually isn't marketed as a bronzer, but I personally use it as a bronzer, and I loved this thing off in the summertime. I was literally using it all the time. I kind of just discovered this while I was in the NYX store, and I looked at it, and it felt a lot like the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Natural, but I really loved the undertone that it had. It's more of a red. Like, I'll try to open this so you guys can sort of see. I don't want it to fall everywhere, but I think you can kind of tell. It's more of like a reddish undertone, but again, I was pretty dark in the summer, and when I get darker, I get red, as I mentioned. So it actually did blend with my skin tone very nicely. So this is probably one of my favorite drugstore bronzers, although it's not marketed as a bronzer. Because it's a finishing powder, it's not too pigmented. It's not like a powder foundation. It just has the right amount of pigment, and it has sort of like it has like light reflecting beads because it is a mineralized product, I believe, or at least like a baked product. So it has kind of like shimmers in it that just look very, very beautiful and natural on the skin. So if you are looking for a drugstore alternative in this video, this is the only drugstore bronzer that I found that works for me. Generally at the drugstore, they don't make bronzers dark enough for me. I don't live in the US, so I don't have access to the CoverGirl Queen collection, but I hear those are amazing drugstore bronzers as well. I just love this, and I'm probably going to go to the NYX store very soon and just pick up a lighter version so I could use it, you know, throughout the winter and whatnot. But this is amazing. I think it's so great. A lot of you guys have picked it up and really love it as well, so definitely check this out. Another bronzer that I really love and would recommend for my chocolate gals is the Tarte Amazonian Clay Matte Waterproof Bronzer in Hotel Iris. And this is what it looks like. This one reminds me a lot of the Too Faced Dark Chocolate Soleil. First of all, it smells exactly like it. Like, I think the Too Faced one smells better, but I think Tarte totally gypped them with the whole chocolate scented product thing. So as you can see, if I put them side by side, they're pretty much the exact same shade, but what's actually great is that the Tarte one is slightly darker. So if you're someone who likes cruelty-free makeup, I believe Tarte is vegan as well. Don't quote me on that, but I believe they are. If that's something that's important to you, you might really, really enjoy this. I like that it also comes with a mirror as well. And I really just love the packaging. It's very sturdy. It's kind of like a leather, obviously a pleather. Again, this is completely matte, as are majority of my bronzers, but I really do love this, and I don't have much else to say about it. So this is pretty much the last bronzer I have to talk about, but I do have an honorable mention that I do want to point out at the end of this video. But this bronzer is by Smashbox, and it is the Bronze Lights. And this is a deep matte bronzer, again matte, and this is what it looks like. Really love the packaging. Again, it comes with a nice mirror. This one, when you look at it under the light, does look like it has like slight shimmer in it, but on the face it does show up completely matte, and I think, again, it's dark enough to show up on my skin tone. I specifically picked this one up because I was just trying to see what other bronzers there were available, because I was always using the Too Faced Dark Chocolate Soleil at that point. So when I picked this up, I did really love it. It does have slightly more of a reddish undertone, so just be wary of that, but I think it blends really nicely. It's super, super soft, and it just like looks very beautiful on the skin. But like the Too Faced Dark Chocolate Soleil, I feel like if you are any darker than me, this probably wouldn't show up too well on your skin tone. So I don't know if it would actually do much for anyone darker than me. But I do really, really love this. And actually, I forgot to tell you guys how much the Tarte and the NYX and the Smashbox bronzer is, so let me just check that real quick. For some reason, I cannot find this bronzer on Sephora anymore, but they do still have it on the Smashbox website, and it retails for $34. The Tarte bronzer retails for $38. I think that was the same as the Too Faced one. And then the NYX No Filter powder retails for $12, so definitely very affordable. So the last and final bronzer I have to talk about, I know this was a top 5, this is kind of 6, but I haven't used this enough to really say if it's a top 5, but I do want to say it's an honorable mention because I always hear Jackie Aina talking about this. So these are the Becca Sunlit bronzers. This one that I have is in a Panama Sun. So right now this would actually be a really, really nice shade for me. I didn't get to use this because I got it in the summer and I was a lot deeper in the summer, as I mentioned. But I do really like this bronzer from when I have used it because it does have more shimmer. So when you see it, it kind of looks like it just has a lot of shimmer, but on the skin it doesn't really translate like that. It just kind of creates a really beautiful sheen on the face. This would probably be great for someone with my skin tone, maybe slightly lighter. But they do have a darker version that I know Jackie Aina always uses. I'm forgetting the name, but it's definitely a lot more red. I did have it, but I can't seem to find it. I don't know where I placed it, but I'm really upset. So yeah, I don't want to talk about it. But yeah, I always see Jackie Aina using that and it looks beautiful on her. I know it's one of her favorite bronzers. So if you guys were wondering about this, I think the formula is actually really, really great. And I think this one is probably more expensive though. I'm gonna check the price real quick. Yeah, so the Becca Sunlit bronzers run for $46 Canadian, which a little bit up there, but again, I gave you guys a good range of products, so if you guys were interested in this, I think it's beautiful, and I do need to give it a little more of a try, so let me know if you've ever used the Becca Sunlit bronzers down below. I'd love to hear your recommendations, and maybe you'll be able to help someone out in the comments as well. So that is pretty much it. I did want to go over a couple brushes that I love using with bronzer. I kind of just use one style of brush for bronzers, and that is like the duo fiber stippling brushes. I find these are the best way to apply bronzers because they have duo fibers, so it doesn't really apply it too saturated, too like concentrated on one area. It just kind of diffuses the color all over the skin, and I think it's so beautiful. So the ones that I have, this one is by Eco Tools. Unfortunately, I can never find this on the site, which is why I have alternatives here as well. But this one is definitely my favorite. So if you do ever happen to see it, definitely pick it up. It's one of my favorite, actually it is my favorite bronzing brush. This is all I ever use. But I also do use the Luxie 508 Duo Fiber Stippling Brush, which looks like this. It's a little more tightly packed than the e.l.f. one, but I think it still does an amazing job at applying bronzer all over the skin. And then another one that I really love, and this one is by the drugstore. This one is by Revlon, and it's their blending brush, but again, it's like a duo fiber brush, so it's really, really nice to just blend bronzer all over the skin. So yeah, I would recommend if you are applying bronzer, the way to make it look the best is by using duo fiber stippling brushes and just having like a really light hand with it. So that is pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys found it helpful. I will have all the bronzers that I mentioned listed down below. And that's pretty much it. So let me know what your guys' favorite bronzers, if you guys have any recommendations that I didn't mention in this video that you think are great recommendations for deep skin, please let us know in the comments down below. I will be reading, but other people that are watching this video will be reading as well, so maybe you'll help someone else. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I have said so like 5 bajillion times in this video, but thanks for watching and sticking by me. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I mean, you watched this entire video, so you might as well subscribe. Give this video a like if you guys enjoyed it, and I will talk to you in my next video. Bye guys! Mwah.